Welcome back to the Make Love to You podcast. I'm your host, Darnell Davis, and right now, you are stepping into the final episode of my four-part series, Healing in Real Time. Over these past couple episodes, I've opened the door to my own healing process. I'm not talking about the neat and polished versions. I'm talking about the raw, unedited journey of me finding my way through grief and identity and all the parts of myself that I used to hide. From giving a voice to the pain that I was feeling, to finding meaning in the stars, to realizing that God isn't somewhere out there, but right here within us. Every episode pulled back another layer of what healing is like when you stop pretending and you just live it. And now in part 4, we step into a moment of transformation. I'm not talking about the kind that comes knocking politely. I'm talking about the kind that rises from the ashes of who you used to be. So if you're ready to step into this episode with an open heart, let's walk into it together.
The mailman's here, got the vibe on cue. Talking about love like it's fresh and new. Self-care's the jam, yeah, that's the deal. Love yourself hard, let you.
On today's episode of the Make Love to You podcast, I sit down with Gabe. Gabe is my spiritual advisor, he's my shaman, he's my guide, he's my brother. And we explore what lies beyond faith. And trust me, Gabe didn't come here with soft answers. He came here with truth. I'm talking about the kind of truth that lets you know that faith is beautiful, but knowing is power. He's here to remind us that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Every shift, every ending, every ache that won't let you pretend anymore, it's not a punishment, it's preparation. So if you're ready to step into this episode with an open heart, let's walk in together. My man, it is such a pleasure to see you today, to have you here with me. Namaste, all the spiritual things I'm supposed to say. Let me introduce you to everybody else. To me, personally, you my brother, you my dear friend, you my medicine man, you my spiritual advisor, you my shaman. So I call on you when I get to these points of static, I should say, because, and I say static because you really bring a lot of clarity to my life. So right now I'm in this white noise, distorted, you know, non-clear moment. And that's what I'm calling on you for. So, Gabe, welcome, my brother. How are you?
Good, brother. Thank you. Thank you for your invitation and your inquiry and this beautiful subject. When you text me, I was like, yeah, good news. You're going through something. That's a good
I know
news.
which
I was
made me laugh and cry at the same time because I'm like,
like,
I'm broken, and you like, yes.
so yeah, it's an honor to be here and to sit in with you, and you're giving me the privilege and the honor to serve you, and vice versa, because as you inquire in these things, you're inquiring things on me that I'm going through. So this is a two-way street. Every time we go through these things, every time we question bigger bigger questions outside of ourselves, it's always a mutual, it's a two-way street at all times. So I'm
I heard
I'm honored you have the balls to do this, and that it helps me as well.
I heard a saying a long time ago, iron sharpens iron. And, of course, right now I'm not feeling like that. I always come out feeling so much stronger, after our conversations. And thank you for the compliment of my balls. And it's not even like, actually, another guest said that, like, this is very courageous for you to do, Nelly. And what I said in return was, I don't know what
Yeah.
else to do. This is like a final resort. And at the same time, I know as long as I'm still breathing, I'm still in it. So, hopefully, God willing, I make it out of it and I'll be able to show everybody else, how we did that. So
Yeah.
I don't want to say nothing else. I just want you to fix me, bro.
Well, walk me through it.
Okay. All
Like
right.
what are you going through so we can have a bigger picture?
It might even be a little more than a year. It's about a year and a half now. I think things started to slide shortly after I lost my best friend last year. So mid-July, my finances started to just take a nosedive, you know. But I had so many, like always in my life, I had so many other things that were coming that I didn't mind. I've lost all my money a lot of times and bounce right back. I go from zero to six figures literally sometimes in weeks. So I didn't fret when I saw that I was losing my finances because I knew I had my book coming. I knew I was building this podcast. I knew that I had an app that was being developed. I knew the season here in Miami was about to pop off again and I would get my clients. And it seems like every single thing that I was anticipating, every single thing that I was waiting on, another door was just shut in my face. Boom, boom, boom. And recently, I've always had something to fall back on, so it's like if if my finances are slipping, I'll sell the Porsche. Or if I lose a couple clients, I'll just go to London and get more people over there. It's always been something to fall back on. And right now, I'm at a point where it's like I'm feeling like a penny with a hole in it. And just because, like, I always pictured my 50th birthday as being this grandiose celebration because that's that one birthday that's like, wow, this is it. Every other birthday is like, you still got one at the 25th, you got the 30th. The 30th, you got the 40th. That 50th is like, it's the all to be all. And for things to be falling apart right here, right now, on my 50th birthday, I find myself waking up in the morning fighting back tears every single day. Is that enough?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one thing real quick before I break this down in my own perspective, are things falling apart or things falling into place from where you see it right now? But when you're sitting high above it, things might be falling into place. It's just, but I'll break it down for you. Why that is so big? Two things that came up right away. Obviously, at 50, it's a big deal. 50, as I mentioned to you before, it's something I just find out too. I just find this out because I'm getting close to that 50, and I'm going to a certain some form of transformation like you're going through. So I can relate to all those feelings. And so as I start doing my exploration and all these versions of it, what things are starting to happen and crumble, and things are no longer working because as we start approaching milestones, and if you see that this planet is all cycles, we are a planet of cycles, we are beings of cycles. Everything within this reality of planet Earth is in cycles. If you can start seeing, like, the stock market is cycles, the way our body moves is cycles, the seasons, the cycle of the 50 is a huge cycle for as a human being. It's called something that I learned recently, in the past 2 years, the Chiron return. So Chiron is a planet that is the wounded, it's an aspect, a planet is attached to us. And when we're born, we get this, it depends where the time we're born, and the date and all that, we get this heal that's called the wounded healer. We all come here with something to learn. As human beings, we come with a wound, and that wound, whether we get it since we're little kids, whether it's like self-worth. It's always something related to fear, because in this world of polarity, black or white, light or shadow, this is this Chiron, this wounded healer, it's called the wounded healer. This wound, since we're born, it's something we acquire. So this is something like that we, as we start going alone, and going into our life, you start to heal the wound, but it's not completely healed. It's like it starts to get like a tough skin around the wound, and you go around in your day, and like in your 20s, you're a hardcore motherfucker. Like you have your light, your sword. Nobody can fuck with us in our 20s. As the 30s go along, 40s, and then in the 50s, this aspect of ourselves comes back to be seen. This wound that we acquire since we're little kids, it wants to be transcended. It wants to be healed. So that wound needs to be acknowledged, needs to be seen. Like, okay, what are you here to teach me? All the things that are happening to us, they're happening. You heard this saying, it's happening for us. So it wants to be acknowledged. It wants to be seen. It wants to be like, listen, brother, see me for who I am. So the wound wants to be ripped open again, and that's the part that's scary. As humans, it's that wound needs to be reopened so it can start bleeding again, and it come back to a little kids like, oh my god, like like I remember, but and so it needs to bleed again, so it can be felt. So in these times of challenge, in these times of limitation, of all these parts, that wound needs to be felt. It wants you to feel the wound. It wants you to feel whatever it is that you're feeling, because at the end of the day, the foundation is a belief system. It's something inside of you that is believing that all this is happening, all this is collapsing because of belief. Because something inside of you, whatever that is, something inside of us, it happens to me. It's a belief that I acquire since we're kids, since we're in our teenagers, since whatever we acquire, that belief that makes us believe that we're not good enough, or that we shouldn't have this, or that we shouldn't create abundance, or we shouldn't have a lover. Whatever that belief is, it needs to be acknowledged so you can transcend it, so you can neutralize it, so the wound can be healed. So in a way, that's why I told you, I was like, oh man, this is exciting news for you, because you have this self-awareness that something's not working. Look, there's some people they go all their lives without having that awareness. They just push, and all of a sudden you get sick, you get cancers, you get like disease because you're not at ease. So the fact that you're having this awareness, these conversations, like, oh, wait a minute, something's not working. I don't feel great when I do this. Something's doesn't feel right. It's because there's a language there. There's a relation. There's a thing in ceremonies and with the shamans, and it's a thing that I always love. This saying is my relation with all their relations. So in Native Americans
A
and indigenous
relation with
culture,
all my other relations.
with all relations. So that's the game we're playing. The relation with all relations. Everything, we're related to everything. We're connected to it. And in the law of one, one of the ancient laws from Egyptian culture, the law of Ra, is the law of one. The law that we all one. We all part of the one. So when you ask me,
Okay.
the law of one, that means we're related to everything. The relation with all your relations. So so as you inquired this thing, you took me, like I said, it's a two-way street, because you're my brother. Whatever you go through, whatever I go through, we're in this we're one. So we are connected. So as you're going through this, it opened me up, and I was like, whoa, like I went deeper into this questioning, and what you go, and in what I'm going through. And so I went to this question. It's like, what is faith? What is beyond faith? Faith is something you put yourself. You have we all experience faith. We've gone through the religious environment. We've all been through that. We've been through like the spiritual environments, and there's a lot of dogma with both. The hardcore spiritual stuff, the hardcore religion stuff, because you're putting yourself outside a thing, a person, a God above, a goddess above you. You putting your faith something above you, something is outside yourself. So what is beyond faith? I start asking this question. What is beyond faith? And I'm like start researching, and I went through a couple like videos and couple of like textbooks. And you know what came back for me? I am. And I am is, you heard this saying before, I am what I am. And what I am is so powerful because it's beyond faith. And by that, I mean it's a knowingness.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
knowingness is beyond faith, it's beyond everything. It's a knowingness that you know you are eternal, infinite, you are a motherfucker that transcend all time. Time doesn't exist. So the knowingness that, oh no, I am what I am, is a knowingness. It's beyond time and space. It goes for eternity. I am what I am. But it's so wild. And as I went into this deeper knowing, it's like, okay, I understand. But what is beyond that? And the message was like, the universe, this reality, this everything there is so unconditional, that it's so unconditional. The love that we are built from, that is putting conditions on you. We ourselves put conditions, and the reality we're living with limitations was like, oh no, I don't have enough money to pay my rent. I don't have a person that I love. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have that. Blah 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 blah. We put all these conditions because the universe is so unconditional that needs to put conditions. Because if it wasn't so unconditional, there were no conditionals. So the fact that we live in an unconditional environment, a conditional universe that is willing to that we are willing to put conditions on ourselves because we're so unconditional. So that,
No,
and you know what I mean? It's a paradox.
that
It's a
right there
paradox.
was is extremely powerful. But before, and I got 1,000 questions already from everything that you shared. But before you go uh even deeper, childhood, you spoke about these wounds, and then we put the band-aid over them and we go on through our life, and then it comes back around this time that I'm at right now. And you said it wants to be seen. So a couple episodes ago on the podcast, I did a whole series on the inner child. Is this any
Yeah.
relation to the inner child?
There is some relationship to it, but the inner child is like it's in there. It's always there. But it's like the wound doesn't have to be in your childhood. It could be a wound that you acquire and you're in later on in the years.
Thank you, thank
So
you, thank you. Yeah, all
it's
right.
not so much in the child when you were a kid. It's a wound that can also become, not in some cases is past life wound. It's like beyond time and space wound it's been there in the forefront through, if you want to go deeper and deeper through different lives. So it's always been like a road that is helping you, that is showing you something. So it's and by this wound, I don't mean in a negative way. Like us as humans, obviously, when something hurt us, we're gonna think, oh yeah, this is bad because we're bleeding, because it's hurting us, because now we cannot move our hands, so this is bad for us. But that wound is a messenger. It has wisdom, it has knowledge. It's almost like it's a multidimensional teacher that is teaching you something. It's just that through awareness, through the present moment, to being present, you can start to hear the dialogue. And it starts very small, it starts very hidden, the dialogue of this wound, of this teacher, of this bleeding thing that it might be bleeding little, you don't even notice. And it's bleeding, it's draining you little by little by little. And eventually it becomes like something, but it has a lot of communication, a lot of hidden communication, a lot of messages.
It's crazy that you say that because often I actually said to a client the other day when I was talking about one of my episodes, I said, my pain is the medicine.
Mm.
So it's kind
Yeah.
of like the same thing. It's like this wound is in actuality the medicine that's leading to the healing.
Yes, exactly. And the more you step into the medicine, and like there's a lot of things in like yeah, it's like you wanna see it, you wanna give it the medicine, but at the same time you wanna neutralize it. And one of the techniques that I learned throughout the years that's very powerful to neutral that I realize how you neutralize belief systems and how you neutralize these things that we're the ones that put it in ourselves, like it's all happening for us. So nobody can put you these things. It's us. It's our own mind. But the way to neutralize is to give her the power that you're choosing to believe you must. So when I'm going through somebody called, I have this thing with drivers in Miami. People drive like crazy, and I used to get I used to get crazy. I used to
That
get out
road
of the
rage.
car and like road rage. I would get road rage. So I would blame the person that cut me off. No, it's his fault. He cut me off. He doesn't know how to drive. But it's really me, the one that's like getting upset. The person they're just living his way. He might be late. Who knows what he's going through. But once you start giving your power away, your sanity, your present moment, once you start living outside of the present moment, you're choosing to do it. The other person, they're not
So what
paying
you
rent.
telling me? So what you telling me? All of these situations that's happening in my life right now, all of this rejection that I'm feeling, the depletion of I'm supposed to still just be smiling through this.
Yes, because you're choosing to believe, because that's when you have the power. Because before with faith, you're like, okay, I have the faith that, Jesus, Muhammad, whatever that is, my higher self, whatever that is going to get me out of the situation. The moment you give your center, your power to be, oh no, I'm choosing to believe that I'm not getting jobs and not even to pay rent. I'm choosing to believe that I'm not good enough to get jobs, to abundance come to me easily, because the nature of the universe is infinite amounts of potential, infinite, not 100,000, not a trillion, not 10 trillions, infinite potentials, infinite abundance. So we choose to only believe what we want to believe. So obviously, it's easy to say, yeah, but I'm broke. What do you mean I'm choosing? I'm not choosing to be broke. What are you talking about? It's like, yes, you're not, but there's a belief system hidden in there, hidden in. I always give this reference in the jungle. Doing some plant medicine and and working with shamans and like the jungle. I'm a jungle person. I'm from South America. My ancestors are from the jungle, so there's hidden things in the jungle, in the crevices of the jungle, inside the leaves. There's belief systems hidden there that is making you believe that, oh no, yeah, I'm not good enough for people just reach out to me and for me to get this abundance going. So you have to go in the jungle and you have to do some excavation. You have to get get that motherfucking machete, and start going through the leaves. And you have the beauty of it is that you have a group of animals around you, and as a metaphor, and you have the jaguar around you. The jaguar is like your power, your inner power, the sense of you. You have that jaguar is going to go in the jungle. It's going to see the things before it happens. It's going to move really slow, and it's going to just be still and be present. And once it moves, this little thing moves, like, oh, that's a belief system that I acquired. Yeah, I remember my I have one of, I have this thing with money. I grew up in Colombia, in a third world country. My family got killed by Pablo Escobar. So we lost everything. So it all happened when I was 8 years old. So from the moment before I was 8, my family was abundant. We had everything. After I was 8, everything crashed. So I have this belief system that the money is going to run away. That everything that I acquire, all the things that I work so hard, they all of a sudden they're going to be dissolved. Somebody's going to take it away from me, because that happened to me. So okay, what is that belief system's going through? So you go to the root, you excavate. Once you excavate that belief, you bring it to the surface. and then you give it water. You start planting the seeds. You start excavating. You give them some water. You give them some love. It wants to be seen because that belief system. One thing that I learned that I love
So you
about
saying first things first, give it awareness.
give it awareness, give him some love, give him awareness, let him know that you see him, that you see this concept, this belief, this thing that is there, and give it awareness, give him, let him be seen, and that's what I meant, the wound. That's why the Chiron, when we're
So that's what I'm,
50.
correct me, but that's what I'm doing right now and reaching out to you and creating this episode. I'm giving this awareness. This is what I'm feeling. I'm not putting the
Yes.
mask on. I'm
Yeah.
saying I'm feeling like I'm broken. I'm feeling like I'm broken
Yeah.
financially. I'm feeling like I'm broken emotionally. I feel like I'm broken in every sense of the word. So I've
Yes,
said it.
absolutely. Yeah, that's why I told you you're in the right track, brother. This is exciting because you're seeing it, you're excavating it. You're like, here it is. This is everything I'm feeling. You're feeling, and the feeling, and look, as men, we run away from those feelings. Like we were thousands, we're little kids. Yo, get up! You don't cry. Don't be a sissy. Like man up. Like money don't grow on trees. All these beliefs that we acquire and through our lives, by our dad, by our mom, by society. So by you excavating and seeing it, you start neutralizing. You see, like, what? This not long. This No, I don't believe in this anymore. This no longer serves me. So you give it some water, and so you can start planting new seeds. So you can start, you excavated the ground, so new things start to come in, and in that space, and that's my point of the knowingness. In that space, it's a tricky space, because in that space of you excavating the belief, of you taking this part, it's no longer part of you, this version of you that you no longer need. That space is crucial, because that space is based on the ego. The ego is not happy. The ego is like, oh, wait a minute, I this was part of me all my life. This is who it made me, who I am. It gave me fucking tough skin. I'm a hard worker. I gotta work really hard, forget what I want. You start making this, so the ego is crushed, and you start losing an identification of who you were. So in that space, it's tricky, because in that space, when you start the belief system, the ego, it starts telling you things. It start creating stories to be like, oh, wait a minute, like, no, what are you gonna do with this? You're not gonna be able to do this. So it starts to the identification. You start releasing the identity, and once you start to release identity, a lot of stuff starts to come out that needs to come out. And sometimes, as if you don't have the awareness of if you don't have a practice, you don't have a discipline, or if you're not present, those things that start to come out, you start attached to it. So it's very important to stay present, to stay calm, to surrender to the process. What you're going through is a beautiful process. It's, one of the sayings, like, nothing lasts forever, or like everything is temporary. So, like, at the end of the day, it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. And you're in this space, you're there for a reason. So in this space of transition, of transformation, is a space to stay very calm and very balanced.
To really wrap my head around all of this, of course, when I first initially reached out to you, I was hoping you give me some medicine. I was hoping you take me on a journey. I was hoping I could just leave this reality that I'm in right now. But this awareness and this making me face it on this level is very powerful for me. But after the awareness, now what's the next step?
The discipline, because discipline is power. Discipline is power. Why the martial artists, why the yogis, why Jesus, why Muhammad? They had discipline. All these sages, they were warriors inside. So you got to keep. And what is that discipline? You're like, okay, what do you mean by discipline? What is your discipline? What do you need to, like, in these tough moments, to keep you there, to keep your power inward?
Yeah, tell me what
Do
it
you
looked
have,
like.
like, it's for everybody's different. For me, I need to meditate. I need to go inward. I need to stay quiet. I need to move slowly. For some people, just contemplating in the morning as you drink your coffee, like you're drinking your coffee and looking at the connecting to nature.
So every single
Extra,
morning, I don't know if you know, every single morning I go to the ocean. I have the group talk with
yeah.
God, my mom, my inner child. I do my cardio. I walk. I spend every night at the Standard, in the spa meditating. What else can I do?
Just keep doing that. Just keep
Okay.
doing that and keep adding layers. Sometimes someone's thing might not, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes one of those things might not be working. It might be too much of like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do this. So it becomes too monotonous. So you take out one thing that's not working and you add another layer, something new. Maybe you want to learn how to play guitar and you start playing guitar. You're like, oh, let me get a guitar. Let me something that you haven't done that is new, because that new is going to start in a scientific perspective. Let's go back to forget the woo-woo stuff. Now let's go back to science. Once science in quantum physics, the moment you start creating a new patterns, you start rewiring your brain. You're learning guitar, you're learning whatever it is, you're learning how to swim. You start rewiring your brain. You start creating new and everything. It starts to get rewired. So you start creating new cells. We never start changing. We never start evolving. Like we think like this, we're dying inside, but like we're infinite. Like so. The
So
more we,
crazy too. I'm sorry. Just when you said start something new, first of all, that really interests me right now because everything that I'm doing in my life has been the same routine. I don't go out, I don't drink, I don't
mm,
date, so it's
right.
always the same routine.
You need
You
to
know,
put yourself uncomfortable, and that's where growth is. That's why you're going through this, because you always got whatever you want to do. You're Nelly, bro. You're fucking Mr. Suave. You go here, everybody loves you. You're fucking You're fucking having insane body. Blah, blah, blah. You got to put yourself uncomfortable. So you got to really be honest with yourself. Be like, what the fuck make me uncomfortable? Go to Mangoes and
being
just
broke
dance
make me
with some.
uncomfortable.
Well, okay, so it's like what I need to do to like let me do something that's gonna humble and let me just pick up this. I don't know. You
You
got
want
to
me to get a
think of
fucking
things.
job? I'm not getting
No,
a
not a
job.
not a job, but maybe like volunteer, maybe volunteer
Yeah, yeah,
somewhere, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
volunteer for like 2 hours a day that like you're gonna get paid hourly, and you're giving it away, but you measure your time by hour, and so that's gonna make you uncomfortable. You're gonna be you're a person of service, because while you do your podcast, you're a trainer, you service people, but what about servicing people in a different way? So it's got to be something that makes you uncomfortable, for you, just because I know you, and like that way you can have a little bit of growth in that. You can learn something from that. I think that could be really helpful for you.
Yo, that is extremely powerful, and I'm not just saying that. Like, I mean, like these answers. I heard from the therapist when I talked to her, you got to do something new. And you telling me you got to do something, but telling me that it's something that's gonna make me uncomfortable. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that. I really feel like it's an
I
answer.
I was, I thought I'm kind of going through something similar than you, so I picked up guitar. We,
And I
somebody gave us
never
this
played an
guitar.
instrument in my life. And I just seen a friend of mine on Instagram just playing a guitar and a piano. And
Yeah,
I was lightweight jealous because I was like, damn, I don't know how to play shit.
I
You playing two
know. I'm like,
things?
yeah, and it's the hardest shit ever. My hand was sore for like 2 months. Like I'm like, what the fuck
Wow.
is happening? But so it doesn't need to be something grandiose. It can be a little thing, but in that little thing, there's room for growth. It creates new energy happening. To do something new that you never done. So yeah, that's a good space to kind of get you in that mood, because when we're in that space of darkness, of going through the whole, like I said, the identity, your identity is dying, and all you is dying. So you're going through a metamorphosis. You're going through a phoenix rising. So the all Nelly is dying. That's a version of you you no longer need. And the wound, the healer, back to the beginning of the conversation, the Chiron is showing you that. It's like, okay, don't forget about me. Don't forget about this wound that you've been carrying. It's time to let it go. So by you creating some space with the routine, with something new, that wound can be really seen and healed and transcended, and then you can create space for the new version of you that's activating. It just, we don't see it because we're so stuck in this reality and the things of the ego, the things you need to do to survive, which is normal, but we can never see the bigger picture. So the moment we can get little things to see a bigger picture, those are, that's what's helped me in the past. And and just, just stay present is the main thing. Just stay present through it all.
I'm really, like I said with the therapist, I feel like I'm walking on fire, but I also feel like I'm walking through the cure of this thing as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I love you, my brother. I appreciate you. I thank you not just for me, but for everybody that's listening, because I know I'm not the only one going through this phase. And I know that everything that we talking about, everything that we sharing is not just helping us, it's helping them too. So on behalf of everybody that's listening, I love you, brother. I thank you so much. I'm gonna apply everything you said. I'm probably gonna call you after this episode as well because I need you and I appreciate you and I thank God for you, brother.
Of course, brother. I love you, brother, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here for you and to help anybody that's listening. So you're very grateful.
My man. I'm gonna put all your information right there on the screen below so everybody can reach out to you if they want to. Everybody, Gabe is a entrepreneur as well, restauranteur, alchemist, elixir king, you know what I mean? So if anybody who's not living in Miami, definitely check Gabe out. Everybody who's living in Miami knows about this legend. But I love you, my brother, and thank you again so very much, man.
Of
I see you,
course, my brother. Love
I
you,
see you on the
brother.
other side of this darkness.
That's right, brother. Go through the tunnel.
Thank you so much, bro. I love you. Have a great day,
Love you,
bro.
brother. You too, man.
I hope everybody enjoyed today's episode. And if something in today's conversation stirred something up in you, good. That stirring is aliveness. It's the soul reminding you of what you already know. Maybe you're in your Phoenix moment right now. Maybe a version of you that's been fighting to survive is ready for that version of you that's ready to live. If something cracked open in you today, don't rush to close it. Let the light shine through this time. And if something in today's conversation spoke to you, if we said a word that lit something up in you, share that word with somebody else. Not just because the support helps me, but because somebody that you love needs to hear that word. And before we go, I want to ground this moment. I want you to place one hand over your heart and one over your belly. If you can, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to feel your breath connect with your body. And I want you to say this: I am not waiting for the shift. I am the shift. Life is not happening to me. Life is happening for me. I am ready to know, not just believe. I want you to take one more deep breath. I want you to let it out and give it to the earth. Now open your eyes, or don't, but carry this knowing with you. I'm Darnell Davis, and I'll see you for the next episode.
The mailman's here, got the vibe on cue. Talking about love like it's fresh and new. Self-care's the jam, yeah, that's the deal. Love yourself hard, let your heart heal. Make love to you, it's the name of the game. Life's too short to live in shame. Love yourself.